The contrast goes crazy. This man's best homie is laid out! What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Here, fun fact, here! I mean, like... You know what time it is. I know what time it is. We know what time it is. It's Kagurabachi time. It's peak every week, so let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into chapter 122. Start. Alright, let's see. Why did I make Roku hear his voice? I know I didn't just give him Chihiro's voice. Because I thought he would speak like a little bit lighter. Yum! Is this really a rice ball? It's so fluffy. Have I ever had a rice ball? I've had like sticky rice. I don't think I've ever had like a rice ball though. I don't think so. Then again, I went for a really long time without having ramen. Like I mentioned, back in my college, I had to starve. Back in my college days, before your boy had a purple, we would eat hopes and dreams. So like, I never really had ramen until very recently. Like was it this year or last year recently? But in terms of rice balls, I don't think I've ever had them. But I mean, I assume they're good. It's rice in a ball. But it's so fluffy. Good, right? Wait, no. Subaru has a little bit more gravel to him. But hold on, let me hit this real quick. It's hard to do it off one word though. Hold on, let me see. Good, right? Good, right? Why? Hold on. Let me sit back in my chair. I'd say stroke. I don't have much hair to stroke. Let's see. Good, right? It's all about the precise. There we go. It's all about the precise amount of compression. And now I think about it, how old is? Because Subaru here looks like maybe mid-late 30s. I know, because by the time of the modern narrative, or part 1, I feel like since we are still in the part 2, part 1 thing now, I think I can just say in part 1, I believe that Samura, Uruha, like they're all in their mid-30s. And Subaru looks older than Samura did then, now. So he may be like mid-40s old. Is Subaru in his 60s by the time of the modern narrative? Or like late 50s? Maybe. Let's see. It's all about the amount of... It's all about pencil not being able to read. Let's see. It's all about the precise amount of compression and how the rice harmonizes with the air. The rice balls I make transcend rice balls. I mean, I assume that's somewhat true. I don't... It's very funny, like, I've been on a huge just straight protein kick, and when I'm extra lazy, dog, I don't even, like, I season it light, I throw it in some sort of cook. I don't cook well. unless I'm actually going in my way to be like, let me follow a recipe. I have time today. Let me go out. Man, I be throwing things in air fryers, toaster ovens, oil, I don't care. As long as it cooks, as long as it's edible. So I don't actually know. Anyone who actually knows how to make rice balls. Is he spitting facts? It sounds like he'd be spitting facts. I'm assuming it's like has to do with like the rice density, how thick and sticky it is in order for it to maintain its shape. Like it doesn't even, like this doesn't even have the I think it's seaweed that typically gets wrapped around rice balls. I don't know. Let's see. Incredible, Subaru Rita. I read your book a long time ago. Oh, so you're a serious student, huh? I mean, I get like that is always interesting. Like, and this is where I find myself strange in a lot of ways, despite being a pencil man. I've never actually went out of my way to study art in the way that like a good artist should. Like I study my art study, quote unquote, is being like, wow, that's a cool piece of an art style. Like that's the closest I get. And obviously, you know, pencil artwork or marker artwork, which is the two I mainly do now, or even digital artwork, very different from sword crafting. But it is common, right, whenever you are in a field to study others in that field and the work they produce. In this case, a book. But have I ever read a book? Man, I'm uncultured. Let's see. Wait, hold on. No, wrong thing, please. So I'm scared to accidentally stop the recording. Let's see. Serious student, my left big toe, man. That's pure garbage. Well, to be fair, that does make sense for Subaru, because did he just flat out lie? You know, I think he admitted I think he flat out admitted that his teachings were nonsense. Like straight, like not a singular car fact was present. It was straight malarkey. And hey, I mean, do it. It encourages individuality, right? Like that's the main thing I always push. Especially like, because people occasionally in my real life will see my art and be like, hey, can you show me how to do that? I'm like, not really. like, in fact, don't do it. I say it all the time. Don't draw like I draw. I draw weird. I don't like, unless the only time I do, even then I don't. It's funny, right? Because I recently just did a digital art drawing of Gojo. So I was just like, let me just see it, because I hadn't touched digital art in a little bit, and I was like, let me do that, because I've been doing a whole lot of pencil art specifically. I've been going back to my roots recently, and I need to get back into some marker art, and I want to do some digital art just to make sure I still have a little bit of the sauce in me. And even then, like, I didn't do the proper, like, line this way, line that way, shape the face around it, this, that, and third, do the hair. Like, I did, big shape. All right, time for hard line work. And obviously, when I do my pencil art, since I don't like to erase stuff, even though the whole point of having a pencil is to be able to erase it, man, I'd just be like, big shape, close enough. So, I never recommend people to do art how I do art, because I'm mostly entirely self-taught outside of like odd bits of lessons here or there, and the rest of it is just straight pencil malarkey. So don't use me as a reference. I'm not that good. I'm not that good, and I don't do art right. But with it being the case, that if someone were to be like, hey, make a book, the book would be nonsense. Or just be wrong. I was like, I knew it. I figured guys like you would keep trying and failing until you saw through the lies. Good. Oh. I mean, like, I could assume that was a mostly unintentional side effect, but still a nice side effect to weed out those who would just believe it and then just keep messing up, and then assume that they're just doing something wrong in the bad directions and keep messing up, versus someone being like, this just doesn't make sense. Let's see. Good. You wasted my time, man. It wasn't a waste. I was about to make a joke, but it was literally just about the perspective here, which is actually really good. Let's see. It wasn't a waste. You developed a strong internal logic through process. Wait, nope. You developed a strong internal logic through the process of unearthing lies. It is true. I've always, like, and to be fair, this is just like a fundamental thing of human nature. The more you have to think about something, the better you do get at it. To some degree. Obviously, there's some things you don't want to think about. Anyone who has done anything like physical, in terms of like maximize physical ability, you do want to essentially be all reactive. Any fighters out there know the whole, like, the highest level of martial art one can reach is not having to think, the being almost detached from the actions that you do. But in terms of understanding something and developing a logical thought process and pattern through it, yeah, you do want to be able to think a whole lot about it. And thusly, fact checking is actually a really good way to do that. I remember back when I had to, like, prepare myself for certain, like, literary exams in the past, one thing me and my, like, fellow students would do, we would fact check each other. We'd be like, this, and this happened. And we'd be like, that doesn't, like, one of these things is not like the other. And that would help us remember. I'd say, what? The lightweights will read that stuff and give up. It's incomprehensible, right? Oh, you have to check the clever. Like, did I do a good enough job misleading you? Let's see. That way, only the truly refined swordsmiths endure. It's a more peaceful world that way. Very interesting. I do like that, though. Especially, like, obviously, we don't live in a very peaceful world. But as a byproduct of that, the idea of those who create things that are used to destroy, right? Because obviously, you pick up any object and swing it hard enough, and it's going to be lethal if it hits a person the wrong way, right? Like, what's a good example? This is a broken piece of Oathkeeper. If someone had the right motivation, then this could do crazy numbers. Danny saw parts about this. You could go crazy with it. But obviously, the person who made this, then it broke. Like, they weren't intending it for that. But when you create something like a sword, I mean, obviously, not necessarily now, there aren't many people sword dueling. Heck, look at me. I own a bunch of swords, and I don't play anything with them. But, other than I have them. But, with that being the case, for someone who creates something that is innate, like, its main purpose is used to take lives, I do understand my student would be like, yeah, I don't want people to learn how to do this in mass. It wouldn't be better. It's a more peaceful world. And ultimately, the only people who are making them are ones who can go out of their way to understand what they are making, which ultimately either help them make it better or maybe prevent them from making it at all. You can insert any modern weapon here. That's the equivalent of swords here. Let's see. I want my money back. That's rough, man. And to be fair, time, money. Well, they always say you can get money back, but money is time. You don't get that back. you can make new money, but you can't get it back. Just so you can take more time, but the time you've lost is always gone. Let's see. Have another rice ball. Immediately distracting. Okay, so it's wrapping seaweed. Let's see. Oh, fine. We're even now. Just how starved. Wait, I don't know why Subaru's voice is not syncing with me right now. Huh. Just how starved are you? Probably very. Let's see. Oh, that's Mashiro's sword, man. Big Mosh, Big She, Big Ro. Y'all need to stop it though. It keeps getting worse. I was thinking, okay, everybody. The Yakamura Soga jokes, they're a little funny, right? It was Soga, right? No. But I was like, okay, it'll fade. No, it got worse! Like, and here's the thing. The meme I consistently see of, like, it's just like, I think it's a fan-made image of Soga, and then, like, was he right in big impact letters on it? That, sure, maybe. That's how it started. I'm seeing people make, like, videos. Be like, well, actually, based on the amount of destruction that the Mikaboshi could have wreaked upon, man, I do believe that Akimura was right. What is wrong with you people? The mass slaughter of innocents is never okay. Like the whole point of the narrative. Did you read the first arc? Did you read the first? Please. And I'm not like legitimately just because of the current saber. I don't even think we should really joke about it. Because obviously, just as Artie was wrong, Akimura's wrong too. Why do you think Akimura took all the symbolism of the leader of the evil people? I do wonder if the guy who's associated with pure black energy directly linked with death and life drain is evil. I'm wrong. Let's see. Hold on, back to this. Actually, to wrap that point, and the whole reason this seems to be happening is because of, admittedly, some cool side characters. I like Yoshinojo. I like Hiruto. I like Mashiro. I knew they were going to die. Though, as people point out, technically, they weren't an elite squad. They weren't an elite squad. They were never saying. They're just like the top 4 of Japan at that moment, right? Like, technically, they're not an elite squad. They aren't known as that. I talked about last review. I was like, yeah, I was kind of on it, or not even last review. I think it was in the My Thoughts video. And people were like, well, Phantom Ending I remember wasn't actually an elite squad. It wasn't classified as the same thing, and y'all totally right. So we'll let it slide a little bit, but still, but still to the point. Y'all tweaking and believing that Akimura was right because of some side characters who you didn't know for more than a month. They didn't even last. Like, well, okay, you knew Mashiro for a little bit longer. Okay, 3 months. You did not know who Mashiro was. What's Mashiro's last name? I know it's Shuji. I'm pretty sure it's Shuji. Like, but still, like, brother, you don't care. It's not that deep. Let's see. Or no, it is that deep in terms of, like, we aren't forgiving Soga. But it's not that deep as in, I know you, like, as a person who will quickly latch on to characters I like if they have cool designs and cool abilities, I know you didn't latch on to Hiruto, Yoshinojo, and Mashiro that quick. I know you didn't. Let's see. If you practice out in the open, a swordsmith of your caliber would earn high accolades in no time. Very impressive. Let's see. I do wonder, though, that now speaking over here in his accolades and his ability, I do wonder, does Subaru have the same, like, blacksmith arms that the Rogue Hero family does? I don't know. Let's see. If you have a reputation, you can charge more. There's no reason to starve to death. And that, you know what? I mean, technically true. But still, at the same time, I do believe, especially considering what Kunishiki goes on to do and what we see about him in part 1. I wasn't not too comfortable making weapons of mass destruction, but he was just good at it. And it's something he was passionate about. Let's see. Oh, that was delicious. Mm-hmm. You know what, though? Like, occasionally when I cook for others and I lock in, right? I actually go in and be like, yeah, I'm cooking today. Sometimes you do gotta be like, yeah, I like that. I'm like that for real, for all that. Because sometimes you gotta flex a little bit, just a little, just a teeny tiny, a droplet of flex, Like, you know, you like that. Let's see. Admittedly, it's not often. I rarely get behind the kitchen. I rarely cook for people other than myself. When I do, I try to lock in. Let's see. But sometimes I make things too salty. I like made lobster, fried lobster, because my family at the time like really liked fried lobster from this one spot that didn't sell it anymore. So I was like, oh, let me just do it. A little bit too much salt. Put too much garlic salt on it. Noted for next time. So now the next time I made it, I just didn't put as much. I don't think I put any garlic salt last time I made it. I just put regular garlic. But that's it. Making a living by selling deadly weapons is something I've never been comfortable with. But you do it. I mean, well, to be fair, though, there it is. That part 1 Roku Hero coming out in the past. So weird. Because it's so weird. Yeah, I mean, like, it makes sense, though. This isn't the first time, like, a part 2 has been focused on the past. Or has major sections focused on the past. But in that same case, I do understand that. And I guess you could say, well, why doesn't he do something else? But it's clear he still is passionate about it, but he's passionate and he understands what he does and what he creates, right? And that is something people do just have to grapple with. And it happens, like, obviously direct weapon crafting is clearly a lot more lethal, but also at the same time, think about these choices that are made in the grander scheme in the upper echelons of people who have influence over massive companies. How many lives they affect without even thinking about it. Or when they do think about it, they're like, I don't really care. And then they drastically affect lives upon lives upon lives. Anyway, it is truly one of the fundamental parts of having power. And obviously we know that Roku Hero is going to be responsible, if indirectly, for a whole lot of loss of life. Let's say. But that's how it should be. We should continually... and see, there it is. So it isn't even just that he's passionate for it. He's like, I know these weapons are used to take lives, but they also... they do that for a greater good. To a degree. But that's how it should be. We should continually struggle to forge blades to protect people. Being recognized by the state as a living treasure or whatever feels like a blanket approval of this craft. That scares me. Oh, I wasn't talking about you. I just meant for me. Yeah. And that is always interesting, right? The balance between what especially if you are good at something and the thing you're, or not even if you, because being good at something versus being passionate about something can be two intertwined things. But if you're good at something and ultimately you're passionate about it, but it doesn't pay the bills, it's rough. It is really rough. I've mentioned this many times before. Your boy wanted to be an astronomer. I wanted to study the heavens, study the stars. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked in a long time, but back when I was a youth, when I was a younger lad, there was not paying. It was not paying. And ultimately, I didn't do it. I have other passions, luckily enough, and I have other things that I do properly. But still, that was a really big passion of mine that I just had to let go because it didn't feed. Wouldn't have put food in your belly, and I can't have that. And it looks like Subaru's about to say something similar. Let's say. Yeah, but if you starve to death, you won't be grappling with anything for long. Fiendish punk. Very interesting. Interesting that Subaru did take insult to that to some degree. But even still, he's like, yeah, well, he took insult, but then he's like, hey, here's a flaw in your philosophy. What do you think about it? And it looks like Roku Hero just does understand it. Let's say, I get that. You have a goal, right? Yeah. To 4. Well, you did. Let's say, yeah. To forge the greatest sword ever. Oh wait, sword? No. He said sword. Subaru says swords. Let's see. What do you mean the greatest swords ever? Maybe blades that are I don't know. Maybe enchanted. Okay, let's stop. Let's see. I'm honestly not sure. So I just have to keep forging them. I'm prepared to make thousands. With what money? Oh, did he? Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad Subaru be able. That's gonna require money, right? Yeah. And funnily enough, I think I mentioned this before, but some people have asked me, hey, why don't you do art? Why didn't you become like an animator or a concept artist or anything like that? Art has always been a passion for me. I never want to make it my job. Never. It may be like, well, Pencil Man, if you ever were to become like fully capable of subsisting off content creation, yeah. Maybe like, isn't that the same thing as like turning your passion into just something monetary? Yeah. I'm not saying my morals are consistent, or my standards are consistent, but they exist. Let's see. Oh, all right. They really flicked up. They really flicked up before getting washed. No! Let's see. March 20th, post the Itoshima conference, Togoshiba returned to headquarters with the corpses of the 6 conference. That's so he had to pick. I wonder if he teleported them all at once, like he just piled on all their bodies on top of himself, or if he literally had to one by one drag each of them back, teleport back and forth with a wicked trick. But all right, body bag. Let's see. Oh, it's this guy. No, I don't remember his name. And no, I'm not gonna look it up. But he does look better younger. Let's see. How's Shiba's condition? Wait, no. How's Shiba's condition? Well, he's not older. How's Shiba's condition? I don't know who's speaking here, so I'm just gonna give it a generic voice. He took a lot of hits. He suffered more than 20 broken bones as well as internal injuries. Over a tenth of his body. Well, not nearly over a tenth. 206 bones in the human body. But nearly a tenth of his bones were broken. That's crazy. That's insane. Let's see. We don't know what those internal injuries are. Probably a whole lot of it organ damage. Let's see. As well as internal injuries. Thanks to the sorcery treatments, he can now respond to questions. But he's going to be out of commission for a while. Okay. Alright. Well, I'm very interested to see how the war is supposed to go. Because now seeing this, like, I mean, the chapter's called Start. Maybe we do immediately skip to the Enchanted Blades. But I thought, and to be fair though, I don't think we actually knew the duration of the war. We may, I don't know. But we'll see. Yep, okay, and everyone is here, except for the woman who I and many others thought was Shihiro's mom. But now we know isn't. The third head of the Kabunabi in the future. Let's see. The Mikaboshi. The Mikaboshi. The clan of sorcerers who once ruled Japan. They were said to have died out eons ago. And now apparently they've been lurking at the bottom of the ocean all this time. Incredible. That is crazy to think about. Obviously, they're like, it is always interesting, like in a world of magic, you think more things will be possible. But at the same time, there are a lot of things, like, as much as we do rationalize science in the world around us, there are a lot of things that are weird. Like, the fact that we know more about space than we do the bottom of our ocean, which I'm pretty sure is still true. I know, like, it gets less and less true year after year because we discover more and more of the bottom of the ocean. But, like, still, there are things in our real world that we still don't fully get. There are pieces of science that, like, have an explanation but don't. Like, I've mentioned this before, go up to any astrophysicist and be like, hey, what happened before the Big Bang? And they'll give you theories. Because no one knows. I mean, things just happen. Why were we? Random chaos. Sure, there are observations and factual things about the universe. But even in our world, there are things that are really, really hard to explain. In a world of magic, I guess it just makes things harder to predict, right? Rather than being like, sure, you can, like, some would be more mentally prepared, but like, okay, insane things can and will happen. This is a world of magic. But also, insane things can and will happen. This is a world of magic. You don't really have a clue what happens until it happens. Let's see. Incredible. And their demands. Oh, yeah, this guy. Lost a lot of his beard, though. To be fair, at least he has his arms here. Pretty sure Soga took those off. Let's see. Initially, they stipulated that we surrender all the data and seki we have extracted from Hiroshima, as well as the 3 prefectures of Tokyo, Chiba, and Kanagawa. But they appended those demands after their battle. This is the final version. Darn. It's still just horrifying on the same couch, bro. Let's see. Now, on to the main topic. Long ago, our ancestors. This is not the voice I get. What, man? What is the voice I gave Arya? I don't remember. Let's see. Long ago, our ancestors were banished by the Soga clan. When our ancestors retreated to that island, they prayed fervently for our clan to be left in peace. But to no avail. Thanks to the Soka Princess's prophecies, we were falsely accused of belligerent intentions. They used their gravity of the Kuratsuchi to sink us into the murky depths of the ocean. The Soga are alive and well. Well! Not the Kuratsuchi. The Soga? Yeah. Yeah, Chiaki still exists. I believe Hiruto was confirmed to be the only one. Not even Yoshinojo, despite his physical abilities, was able to wield it. Only Hiruto. So, At least the Kuratsuchi's gone. Let's see. Oh, to this day, they have a princess, don't they? So they said, hey, give us Chiaki. give us the future sight woman. We're stuck in it. But to be fair, though, as we know with Chiaki, it does, like, funnily enough, they'd have to pull a Soga. They have to wipe out all of the Soga. Because remember, Chiaki was, like, she just became the princess of the Soga by sheer chance. She was a servant girl who just happened to have Soga blood. Like, that's it. She wasn't actually anyone special until that random point. So, yeah, Chiaki's currently the princess, but, like, wiping her out or taking her hostage, I mean, you got a couple years. But wait till the next Soga gets born. Let's see. To this day, they have a princess, don't they? Yes, indeed. Let's see. Shikoku's ultimate demand was that Atanseki we mined on Hiroshima and Princess Soga. Well, obviously we know that didn't happen. At least I don't think it did. Let's see.
Oh, of course. The goal is to exact revenge against the Soga. The system that maintains order among sorcerers of our nation is governed by a long history of deep-rooted traditions revolving around the Soga clan. Princess Soga represents the very heart of that system.
I'd say it's a very fragile system. They probably shouldn't have built it that way. But one, magical world. It's hard enough to maintain people in a non-magical world. Look at us. And also, it makes sense. Dominion over the future, like, it's... Like, obviously people predict and move and try to manipulate the future in many ways. And in many ways do succeed. But for 1,000 years, maybe more, the Soga clan just has been right. They've just seen it. They just know what the actual Carfax are. And yeah, if you're a powerful sorcerer family, you want that. And you'd rather not risk it. Order is always more manageable than chaos. So, yeah, I get why they wouldn't want to risk it. Let's see.
Losing her would signify the collapse of the regime.
So that's their goal. No. Oh? No? Is this the... Okay, this is the king. Alright, let me see.
The Soga must be destroyed, but their blood has value.
Ew! Ew! Ugh! Well, to be fair, he's still not right. He's still not right. But I get why the manga get it. Do I even say that? Do I voice act? I mean, I.
The princess will bear my child.
You nasty. Now, so you know what? Funnily enough, with this being stated, obviously we know how this is going to go. The royal family is given up by the rest of the Mikaboshi. That's how we know this war will end, because the Agenda Blade just wreaked that much havoc. But I'm genuinely shocked that the king like lived long enough for that. Like, I mean, maybe they just never told Akimura. If I had to hazard it, he just must have never known. Because the way we see him, and specifically the way we see him interact with his family, right? How amicable and sweet he was to Shiro, even after Shiro blatantly declared himself an enemy of Soga. I bet his own sister, if he heard that the king of the Mikaboshi was moving like this, I'm shocked he made it to negotiation day. Let's just say that.
After that.
Okay, so they still do plan to wipe them all out, so they can't accidentally produce another princess, but...
After that, we will slaughter the Soga clan.
Their sorcery lives in their blood, and that sorcery contains their legacy. Their goal is dominion, to wield the blood of the Soga and usurp their power.
Over the future and over the war. And funny enough that I think about it, the Soga technically do have direct jurisdiction over time, the future specifically, and space through gravity, because gravity is like a weird interaction in space. So, or causes weird interactions in space. So yeah, the Soga clan being the foundation of the world makes sense, because time and space are also the foundation of the world. Let's see.
Wait a minute. How could they know the inner workings of our underworld? They even know the name of our name for the Datsun Seki. Apparently they managed to extract the general gist from some idiot in Hiroshima not associated with the government.
Oh, that guy. All right. And the princess.
She fell unconscious the moment the conference ended. He's awake now, but...
Interesting. So I wonder how that worked. Like, we know she saw the conference in her visions. And we know the visions aren't perfect. But I wonder what it was. That, like, maybe it was the death of her cousin? I'm guessing that's what Hiruto and Yoshinojo may have been her uncle or something. Like, that's probably what that was. Or, like, I don't think it's like Kurotsuchi just, like, infusing itself into her or something like that. But I do wonder if, like, the two pieces of the Soga bloodline are at all linked. Like, if it feels weird. Like, we know for the Sazanami clan bloodline, like, well, to be fair, though, no. Because the storehouse needed to be passed down manually. It was Hakuri who managed, and the original Maverick, who managed to just generate it autonomously. So I wonder if they can feel stuff like that. I don't know. Could just also do with the future sight things. Let's see. After they delivered their demands, a flood of new visions came to her. Okay, so it is specifically in accordance with those demands. That's probably why she lost consciousness. Okay, so it's just future overload. And all right, let's see. So are you aura farming? Let's see. There will be death on Earth.
I don't know who's speaking here. The government English. The government unequivocally rejects their demands. The view is that we cannot accept such a violent and incomprehensible behavior. Moreover, the government intends to expand the anti-sorcery strategic force established in the past 2 years.
Okay, so the build-up to the Kamudabi. I recognize all these characters except these two. Obviously, that's Azami, while he was still much younger. But I almost want to say this is the Masumi, but I don't think so. Let's see. Interesting, though. But obviously, I don't think it's going to be enough.
They're leaving the specifics to us.
It's not enough.
What?
Hiruto Soga was our strongest warrior. I mean, like, that makes sense. Control over gravity, and he was literally described as the peak of human ability, but okay. Let's see. Hiruto Soga was our strongest warrior. A true singularity. Alone, he could dismantle a powerful dynasty. Okay. Let's see. And we sent 3 other fighters no less capable than him. They were the strongest I knew it! You were trying to gaslight me, and I fell for it! There it wasn't! Okay, so I'm not crazy. I knew it! I knew it! To butter your behinds and call them everyone who's trying to... I knew they were just another elite squad to get washed. It's the Kagurabachi special, brother. From the squad to protect Uraha. From the squad to protect, to take out the anti-cloud capture squad. No matter what. And they're always gonna fail. No matter how elite they... I knew it! Strongest unit! Strongest... It's literally both. The strongest... But Hokuzono, I need something new! I mean, this is in the past. But I need something new for the future. Let's see. And this enemy prince, or whatever he is, massacred them single-handedly. In another fight, he was lounging on his sofa completely unscathed, and sent back a sole survivor. Plus, they had 5 more warriors of the same caliber. This isn't just something we can throw more soldiers. So they do immediately leap to the Enchanted Blades. So I guess the war technically did start on Irishima. They're at war right now. But there must be some delay between the actual... Like, I'm assuming... Because, like, Azumi is described as, like, a war veteran. We know, like, Natsuki is described as a war veteran, I do believe, as well. Like, these are all, like, veterans of the war. The Kabudabi is formed of war veterans. We got that whole list of the ranks. So, I'm assuming we're going to get at least a little bit of time between the decision to forge the Enchanted Blades and their actual implementation into the conflict. Let's see. This isn't just something we can throw more soldiers at. We have a stockpile of Kaichi. Maybe that... I don't know what that is. Let's see.
It's finite. The enemy has the exceptional ability to regenerate, which will go crazy. Let's see. If we don't use it at the right moment, it could come to nothing. I have no idea what that is. Let's see. Perhaps our only hope is Flamebone of the Star.
Flamebone? Like Hyuki Flamebone? Honestly, it's been so long, Hokuzo. I thought you forgot about it. I know why she wasn't allowed to be there in the fight, but like, no, what? Let's see.
No, we've already reached out to the Kaguri clan, but it's not that simple. They haven't had an appropriate master.
Oh, interesting. Hey, okay, so Yuki is a recent development. All right, let's see.
They haven't had an appropriate master in ages. If it got out of hand, it could relegate the entire continent.
Upscale? Wait! Agenda pushing time? Hiyuki, full power Hiyuki top 1 in the verse? Congratulations, Soga. Akimura, you life wiped an island. She can reduce the continent to a scorched wasteland? Throw her at JJK! Throw her at JJK right now! Let's see what? If it got out of hand. Okay. What do we mean by that? But interesting. So Flamebone does predate, which I guess makes sense. It does seem to be a clan sorcery. But, so the enchant... That's crazy. In part 1, Flamebone is described as a weapon or a sorcery equal to the Enchanted Blades. Plot twist, the Enchanted Blades were weapons / a form of sorcery equal to Flamebone. But probably not, because the strongest Enchanted Blade was island level. And now I think about it, Kuratsuchi only ended up being island level too. So, yeah, Flamebone, strongest sorcery in the series, but I guess very uncontrollable if they're worried about it annihilating the entire continent. I know, Scorched Wasteland, it's life wiping versus like actual destruction of the continent, but still, bigger feat than Nakamura did. I didn't see him sinking island. Let's see. I keep sorry. Yeah, Nakamura. Let's see.
But it would have to be something that phenomenal. Otherwise, a battle will produce nothing but more casualties. We know, but...
Oh? He's locked in, twin. Let's see.
Shiba, should you be up? That Hasumi guy told me. I have to get up.
Yeah. Let that Survivor's Guild get you, Shiba. Let that Survivor's Guild get you, Shiba. You could have saved them all, Shiba. You could have teleported them out, but no, you thought you wanted to fight, are you? It's your fault, Shiba. Yes! Let's see.
I have to get up.
Yup, Mashiro's sword.
Hey, my co-eye's turning 18. Forge him a good one, would you?
And he's dead. Hasumi?
The force that annihilated Japan's strongest unit in history.
Still kicking over your gaslighting me. I fell for it. I knew it. Let's see.
Force that annihilated Japan's strongest unit in history was the power of the Datenseki. The enemy harnessed the astronomical energy of the Datenseki with their sorcery.
We know that!
That's all it is.
What?
It seems like an insurmountable chasm, but the power of the Datenseki is the enemy's only advantage.
I mean, true. You have more land, more numbers, more resources. Yeah, makes sense.
What are you trying to say? That our only winning strategy here is to utilize the Datenseki?
Well, in that case, we've already got our answer. We've been working with her for around 2 years, and we still haven't cracked it. I'm gonna make a joke, but I won't. Let's see. The enemy doesn't seem concerned either. It may not be physically possible for us to wield that ore. But to be fair, they could figure it out, and they're just Japanese people. Let's see.
Rokuhira.
He doesn't even call him Kurishige. You know it's serious.
Rokuhira, how much did Mr. Hasumi tell you?
Hiruto, dead. Yoshinojo, dead. Random, dead. Mashiro, dead. Aryu and the king. Oh, now I think about it, they do actually have the exact same eyes. Very large pupils on both of them, too. Let's see. Oh, and Shiaki crying. Oh, the things we do for love.
Everything. So, you think there's a way?
Text the Enchanted Blade plan. March 21st. Midnight start. A very scrumdiddlyumptious transition chapter. Great way to follow up the Irishima talks themselves, showing us the state of everything afterwards. Makes perfect sense. Getting a nice little, I say reminder, right? Because obviously the joke so far in part 2 has just been Rokuhira's starving because Rokuhira doesn't sell swords. But like why he doesn't do it has been established since part 1, or why he would. Like you can backwards inverse rationalize why he doesn't do it more frequently based on his part 1 actions and characterization. But getting a good reminder of that here at the start, especially right before he goes on to forge the Enchanted Blades, really good to see. Subaru's dynamic with Rokihira being set up here with Kunishige works well as well, because obviously Subaru will go on to be one of the swordsmiths, not just one of the swordsmiths, but one of the 6 wielders of the Enchanted Blade. So establishing their dynamic early on is really, really important. I like to see that. The confirmation of the Mikaboshi's goals and the clarification of their plans is nice to have too. We do know that it will fail, but it's good to get a clear perspective on that. King's a freak, but also still doesn't excuse Akimura himself for life wiping them. Should have done that. But on top of that, it's great to get some more lore and some more history, not just about the nature of the strongest unit in history, but on top of that, very specifically, how quickly they resorted to the Enchanted Blades upon realizing the real power of the Mikaboshi. That was definitely one thing I was wondering with Part 2's pacing. I wonder how long we were going to get before the Enchanted Blades became a thought in people's heads. But now we see it didn't take any time at all. After the first talks went bad, they immediately leaped to, we got to do this now. And Rokihira was immediately recruited for it. And Rokihira seemingly overrode his inhibitions to craft blades of weapons of death in order to do what he talked about at the start. We know he loves Chiaki. We know he will presumably go on to have Chihiro with Chiaki. But with that being the case, he says specifically, wait, where is it? To forge blades to protect people. He's forging these blades with the intent to slaughter the Mikaboshi, specifically their leadership, but also to protect Chiaki. And seeing that contrast and knowing where it goes, the dramatic irony of it all, beautiful. So, if you made it all the way to this video, please leave the fresh beginning in the comment section down below. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you have a page down below. You support me for as well as $1. Talk about to get things like exclusive videos and the content and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as little as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions, so the choose time to review, I do variations of all my videos, early ad-free access to all my videos, early ad-free access not just all my videos on the main channel, but on the second channel, that reaction, link in the description down below. And on top of that, if you want unedited versions of all the Kagurabachi reviews, patrons, members get that. I'm sorry, main channel, I don't want to get blown up, so that's why they look super jacked up on the main channel. But on top of that, I do have my code down below. You draw 5 views to a short video. Twitter means a long video, or any means that all any support is always greatly appreciated. And I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off.
I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Redwolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, J2MA, Buddha Ura, Yuki Ally, Grim, Ollie, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Tim Thomas, Kaving, RXN, Dead Meme, Kian Stewart, Edwin Igbinoba, Straw, Antavius Mitchell, Super Flame Zero, Weary Exile, Alex Kenny, Todd, The Practical One, Landon Clapwick, Heath Nelson, CAET, Plant Crone, Brandon Payne, Multi-Batman Superman, Zalim, Sleepin' John, The Young Family, Pastel Pandora, Mo City King DKG, Akolare Babatunde, Union Eye, Athenzi Shear, Sino King, CCC, Enzo, Kitty Liddy, Axis XC, Praise the Sun, Magic, Andrine Bonnet, Donovan McIntosh, at JDog2656, Aswin Hedi Placentia, Sheesh King, Yo Extras, AZ Void, Professor Von Tuck III, Nevies97, and Black Sage. Then I'd even thank you to our line art tier patrons: Dread Zoen, Kevin Encarnacion, Lucas Stace, Midnight Lord 21, and Sean. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our ink tier member, Shrimpo the Fourth Shrimp 06. And I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier member, Jay Warrior. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons, Walkie Munoz and Walkie Munoz.